Reiksguard Knights, your Emperor is calling. Death or glory await us. But if we die, we will die as warriors with swords in hand, and there can be no better death than that. For the Emperor!
The Reiksguard Knights are essentially the Emperor's personal army, forming the vital core of all the Empire's military forces, thanks to their disciplined martial prowess and, above all, their loyalty to the Emperor. These renowned warriors have earned their reputation through sheer acts of heroism and devotion to the great empire of man, standing firm against all manner of enemies, monsters, and threats to the existence of mankind. Before we dive into the lore of these mighty knights, we have a short announcement to make. We have now enabled channel memberships, which you can join to support the content we make and gain exclusive perks, like early access to the full finished episodes, loyalty badges next to your name and comments, and even your name immortalized in the video credits. Check out the available perks. And now, let's get into the lore of the Grand Order of the Reiksguard Knights. Many battles have been won by the timely intervention of the courageous knights in the form of a devastating charge against enemies that seem to be overpowered or attacking in vastly superior numbers. Uncountable beastmen have perished under the hooves of the imposing Reiksguard horses, unable to strike back at their unrelenting charge. Orcs and goblins alike tremble at the sight of Sigmar's finest riders, as they know too well the might of the secular order of the Reiksguard Knights when they ride to war. Found within the lands of the Empire and across battlefields around the world, the knights have ended the lives of numberless greenskins of all types. Many vampires from Sylvania and beyond have also fallen to the fury of these valiant warriors. Their loyalty to the Emperor is absolute, and no temptation to power or promises of riches can sway their purpose. Feared and renowned vampire counts have been slain by the knights, their heads ending atop the pikes of the long lances as a crude warning for anyone moving and conspiring against the Empire. Count Wilhelm III was the one who originally established the Reichsguard lineage of emperors within the great lands of the Empire. And the Grand Order of the Reiksguard Knights is a secular order of knights created and sworn to the protection of the Reichland imperial bloodline. Every member of the order has made the greatest of oaths to give their lives in defense of the Emperor from any and all dangers, as they believe him to be the living incarnation of Sigmar Heldenhammer himself. Since then, the Great Order has maintained its standards and traditions through the passing of time. While most of the noble and noted knightly orders that exist within the Empire impose many and varied restrictions on who may serve in their ranks, the Grand Order of the Reiksguard focuses mainly on one: absolute loyalty to the Emperor. The Reiksguard is never short of recruits, especially since any man who successfully reaches the rank of knight in the service of the Emperor's personal army is considered to have brought a great badge of honor to his family, his town or city, and even to his home province itself. The ranks of the Reiksguard include the heirs to many of the wealthiest and most powerful noble houses in the lands of men, including the sons of several elector counts. But all men of noble birth are permitted to serve the Reiksguard, as long as they can prove their skill in combat and their undying loyalty to the Emperor. There are many who travel from distant lands, including Ostermark, Nordland, and Wissenland, to name a few. They seek to prove themselves as worthy warriors capable of wearing the honorable marks and sigils of the respected order of the Reiksguard. To determine whether a novice has the desired qualities to serve within the Grand Order, They are subjected to arduous training over the course of many months. They are trained and tested in 3 main fields: strength of mind, strength of body, and strength of spirit. If the novice can demonstrate he has the required qualities and meets the high standards of the Reichsmarchall, they are bound to take a vigil. But before that, the previous night is spent praying and being prayed over, a ritual that is said to be a form of exorcism in case any demons are hiding within the novices, and to clear all taint of ruinous powers from their souls. After that, the vigil proceeds. Beginning at dusk, the novices will first be interrogated by brothers of the Reichsguard, before spending the rest of the night in prayer. At the end of this vigil, the novices are officially welcomed into the Grand Order of the Reichsguard, whence they take their nightly vows, sacred oaths where they pledge their total loyalty and commit their lives to the service and protection of the Emperor. They don the famous red and white livery and earn the right to proudly display the crown, skull, and cross of the Empire on their shield. And so by besting these trials and tests, any aspirant, regardless of their city or province of origin, will become knights in the Grand Order of the Reichsguard. As the Emperor's personal elite army, the Reichsguard are regularly barracked in the imperial capital city of Altdorf, or the nearby castle Reichsguard. But they also maintain a number of battle-ready fortresses and reinforced positions scattered throughout the whole empire in order to deal with any enemy incursion or a rising threat. As they are in such close proximity to the capital and the Emperor himself, the honorable knights are oftentimes seen by the common folk more as mere figures of state than a band of capable soldiers. The Reichsguard, amongst other duties, are responsible for the security of all palaces and castles belonging to the imperial family, including their main headquarters at Castle Reichsguard, located southeast of the grand city Altdorf, along the confluence of the Reich River. During many campaigns, the Reichsguard have been known to accompany the Emperor in his diplomatic and political tours, aimed to ensure the continuous stability and loyalty of all the important figures that play an essential part in the Empire's complex web of alliances and treaties. It is also noted that the Emperor would occasionally attach a unit of Reichsguard to an Elector Count's army, especially the ones whose loyalties or political ambitions are suspect. Publicly, this is interpreted as a symbol of the Emperor's personal support. This show of trust is oftentimes used to ensure the loyalty of the Elector Count in question. The Reichsguard are commonly known for their mounted knights, but they also have an infantry arm that is called the Imperial Foot. They are based near the Emperor's palace and can be seen marching through the streets, escorting the Emperor on state occasions, and patrolling the city walls when the Emperor is on leave. The Reichsguard foot regiments are normally protected by both shields and heavily armored suits of full plate, adorned with a dazzling array of seals, plumes, and ribbons. Although considered statelier than, say, the Order of the Blazing Sun, famed throughout the Empire for their skills on the battlefield, this does not mean they have not seen their fair share of action. Since the Reichsguard hold this place of high honor, they are armed with the best swords and equipment the Empire's weaponsmiths can produce. They are clad in the finest forged steel plate armor, highly polished and shiny. Their helms are adorned with tall feathered red and white crests, or extravagant plumes to represent their origins and allegiances. Its cavalry has the fastest and noblest of war horses that can be bred in the Empire, for they are an essential part of any Reichsguard unit, and are treated as such. All knights carry shields emblazoned with a skull emblem and the initials of the current reigning emperor. They all carry tall lances with decorated pennants and ride proud among the imperial ranks. The head of the Reichsguard is known as the Reichsmarchall, a rank so high and important that this commander is second only to the Emperor himself in matters of war. The Reichsmarchall is commander to all of the Empire's forces, and is responsible for the recruitment, training, and effectively leading the Reiksguard in the field of battle. The current Reichsmarchall of the Grand Order is Kurt Helborg, a general without peer. He has commanded many armies of knights and many campaigns and battlefields across the old world, always fighting with unparalleled skill, and always found where the combat is the thickest. As one of the most celebrated heroes of the Empire, Kurt Helborg wears the laurels of victory, enchanted by wizards of the Grey Order. The magic within the laurel magnifies Kurt's stature in the eyes of his enemies, to the point that few can muster the courage to stand before his wrath when the battle is fierce. He rides into battle atop Kriegelust, a massive grey mount said to have been sired by the finest steed in the Emperor's stable. In times of war, the Grand Order of the Reiksguard Knights take to the field alongside the Reichsmarchall, or even the Emperor himself, forming an elite unit at the core of any imperial armies they lead. When these knights are personally led by a capable leader, they are an implacable avalanche of steel that fearlessly thunders towards any foe that may lie ahead. When the full fury of their charge is unleashed, they drive the enemies of the Empire into the ground with devastating force. These highly skilled warriors are available in limited numbers, so when a unit of Reiksguard marches within an army of the Empire, they do so in the center of the battle line, so they can inspire their brothers in arms and boost the morale of their allies with their imposing and reassuring presence. With the Reiksguard at the center and the war drums and horns screaming for battle, the Imperial forces are unstoppable. The mighty Empire shall endure as long as the unmatched bravery and loyalty of the Reiksguard Knights still stands to protect mankind from the ever-encroaching darkness that stalks their borders.
On this channel, we are putting together narrative Total War cinematic battles and Warhammer lore videos. A special thank you goes to our Patreon supporters who help us in the making of more content. You can also join Patreon and earn extra perks while supporting the videos to come. Find the link in the description below. Make sure to subscribe, and thank you for watching. See you on the next one.